Hello and welcome to another educational video about screen printing by Catspit Productions. Catspit Productions? Catspit Productions. Catspit Productions. Lazy cat. Today's video is about printing on pocket tees. How can you get your print inside the pocket without using a pocket palette? Okay, and these are shirts that I'm going to print for myself because I noticed my old Catspit work shirts that I use in the videos are kind of getting a little haggard, a little fuzzy. So I thought I would print some new shirts and use a pocket tee and get some fresh shirts into the videos. And I was going to use my pocket palette today, but much to my dismay, I could not find it. So I need to revert back to a method of printing inside the pockets that does not use the pocket palette that I used to use many years ago before pocket palettes were popular and readily available. And this is a method that I refer to as the Helen Keller method, and that is, I don't mean any disrespect to Helen Keller or to the blind in general by that. It's actually a statement on the method because we're going to use a sense of feel and touch to place the pocket on the palette in order to get the print in the correct position. So technically this method you could actually do with your eyes closed, and that's why I refer to it as the Helen Keller method, because it's all based on feel. Okay, so without any further ado, I will move into the press and show you how to screen print inside of a pocket without a pocket palette. All right, so in order to use the Helen Keller method of printing in pockets, you're going to need a couple of items. You're going to need some clear packing tape. You're going to need a box knife or an X-Acto blade. You will need a pair of scissors, perhaps, maybe not. We just have these in case. And we will also need, most importantly, is a piece of cardboard that's about 1/16 of an inch thick. It's kind of like a penny, maybe slightly less than a penny or about a penny. Basically, all you really need here is a piece of cardboard that when you place it flush against your palette, you're going to be able to feel a little bit of a lip. Okay, so that's the most important thing right there. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do is a little counterintuitive, and just note that I'm using just a little skull and crossbones over here. It's part of a bigger design, but I have it taped off, and I'm just using this part here to print inside the pocket today because I didn't want to burn a screen just to get this little skull and crossbones like this, so that I could do this. So I'm just using it here, it's taped off. And the first thing that we're going to do, like I said, is counterintuitive, but we're going to print the skull right onto the palette. Okay, so there it is, the skull's on the palette, right here. Okay, now I'm going to use that print in order to get the cardboard in place. Okay, so I'm going to move you up a little bit closer so you can take a look and see what I'm doing there. All right, so we have the little print down there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my cardboard with the two cornered edges, this edge and this edge, down so that it matches with this edge and this edge of the design. Okay, and I'm gonna just set it down here, and what I'm doing is I'm gonna make some marks. Okay, so I know how tall it is. Okay, and then we need to know how wide. We're going to be something like this, and what the idea is that we're going to make a little piece of cardboard that is slightly bigger than the actual print. Okay, so once you have the dimensions for this little piece of cardboard kind of sketched out, and it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be slightly bigger than what you're going to print, maybe by 1/8 of an inch or so. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece of cardboard out and then we'll continue. All right, so now that we have the little piece of cardboard cut out, and it's also important to note, I don't know if I said this earlier, but when we set up the screen, we're just setting up the little Crest print that's going to go inside the pocket. We're just going to make it straight, you know, to your palette, but it's not really critical as to where it is because we're going to be placing the pocket on the specific spot, okay? And it'll make sense in a second, okay? So when you're setting up the screen, the only thing that you really need to make sure is that the design is square to the palette. It can be almost anywhere, you know, across the palette that you want in order to, you know, as long as your pocket could get into that position, you're fine. All right, so we have the little piece of cardboard cut out. We have the print is on the palette, which we know that's where the print is going to print. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean down by the palette and I'm going to eyeball this little piece of cardboard so that the print is in the center of the cardboard. And then I'm going to put it down. Okay, and now the little bit of tackiness and the ink underneath there is holding the cardboard in place just enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to print on top of the piece of cardboard just to test and see, you know, that I have it in the right place. And you can also kind of take a look before you print by just feeling the edges. Okay. Okay, so now I don't know if you can see that because it's gray on this tan, but it should be basically in the center. And if it's not in the center and you want to make a little adjustment, you can. You just slide it over. I'm going to slide mine over just a little bit because the skull is just a little bit over that way. All right, and now I think we're pretty good there. So I'm going to take the clear packing tape, and it's probably a good idea to tab one end of it so that it's easy to get off. But I'm going to take the clear packing tape and I'm going to put that down over the top and crease it into the corners of the cardboard. Okay. That's important that you crease it into the corner of this piece of cardboard so that you're going to still be able to feel this lip nicely, because we're going to put the shirt over this. Okay, so there we go. I've got my little template set up, and I'm going to test one more time right on top of the packing tape just to see that I'm happy with my positioning. And that looks perfect, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this off because it's on the packing tape, so I'll get a little rag and wipe that off, and then we're going to print some t-shirts. Alright, so I just wiped off that little test print that was on top, and we're going to need a little spray tack right over the packing tape. There's no problem. Okay, let that tack up a little bit, and we will be ready to print inside our pockets. Okay, now we got to get the shirt on. Also, please note that you could set this up in the reverse manner by putting your piece of cardboard on the palette first and lining your screen up to that. And also, if you use a bigger piece of cardboard, I think the bigger size piece of cardboard that you use that'll fill the inside of the pocket, the easier it is to feel and center. Okay, because like right now I have a little piece, so here it is here, I can see it, and then I got to kind of eyeball it and pull it over. Onto it and then feel whether it's in the right spot. Okay, and it would probably be a little bit easier if the piece of cardboard was bigger, or were bigger, I should say, I guess. All right, because now I'm kind of like over pulling on each time I. There, okay, I think that looks pretty good. All right, now at this point you could possibly, if you want to, just to make sure that you're not going to have any problems, you could shoot just a tad of that in there. Spray tack. Okay, now you could probably see, hopefully you could see how nice and flat it is now. You can see where it is. It's pretty centered. It's probably not 100% perfect, but not each one of them will be. Okay, so that's it. And then we print just as normal. And that's all there is to it. Okay, and that's it. It's in there. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty centered nicely. Not bad. Alright, so there you have it. Printing inside a pocket without a pocket palette. And remember that, you know, this is a method that you should customize and tailor to your specific needs and how you would like to do it. What I showed you there is just the general gist of it. So you should take that and modify it to your needs and how you'd like to do it. And of course, this, you know, if you had a lot of shirts to print, this method would be rather slow. So you would want to probably invest the, you know, $50 to $100 or whatever it is for the little metal pocket palettes, which maybe nowadays they might be a lot less. Back in the day, they used to be about 80 bucks, but maybe they're a little less expensive now. So if you're doing high volume and stuff, you're going to want to invest in a pocket palette. But, you know, for me, I had 5 shirts today. So, you know, honestly, I probably could have just eyeballed each shirt, but I wanted to share with you the old-fashioned Helen Keller method that we used to use before the pocket palettes. Okay, so, you know, and they vary. They're going to vary a little bit. This one was a little low, you know, but in general, it's a really cool method, and you can actually use that method to print a variety of specialty locations on a t-shirt. Okay, so you could use this method to print other locations that require a specific place, and you want to you know, you want to be able to get it in that place fairly easily. Alright, so thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate you guys checking out my videos. I hope this video helped you out a little bit with printing prints inside the pocket. And stay tuned for new videos. Eventually, I will reorder a new pocket palette, and I'll show you how the pocket palette works and how much easier and faster it can be with the right equipment, with a pocket palette. And then, you know, if you had 100 pieces to do it, would be a breeze. Okay, so look for that in the future, and if you like what you see, please comment below, rate thumbs up, and of course, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.